And welcome to Macey's Cooking Corner. My name is Richard Dogan. I'll be the host today. And our guest is Ryan Rasmussen, who is the meat manager for Macey's in Spanish Fork. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me today.
Good. And so we brought you in because you are an expert at barbecuing.
I do love to barbecue, that is for sure. So.
What about grilling?
Grilling is even better.
Oh,
that's
even
what
better.
We're going to do today.
Well, as you can see, we're not in the Macey's kitchen. We're actually up here at the Mountain Country Pavilion by the Spanish Fork Reservoir. And we thank Spanish Fork City for providing opportunity for us to be here and also this grill for us to use. And with that, we're going to talk about grilling, even though I call it barbecuing. Tell us the difference between barbecuing and grilling.
This is grilling. It's right here on the grill. It's the plate that you're cooking on. That is our big difference. Barbecuing, you can do it all sorts of different ways, and that's smoking, everything else. They have all that, southern barbecue is in a pit, everything like that. There's tons of different ways. But we're going to grill today, and we're going to start off with grilling salmon.
Salmon, love salmon, yes. Okay, so when I make salmon, I usually wrap it up in some tin foil with different flavorings and stuff and throw it on the grill.
I'm going to do it a little bit different, though, today for you.
Okay? Oh, really?
We're going to put it directly on the grill. Okay. That way you get the sealed in the juices, you have everything there, and you get that nice char mark on the outside. You know how it looks in the pictures on those store-bought, little packages. They have that grilled salmon mark, It looks so good. Well, we're going to do that today.
Okay, well, I'm anxious to see this.
And our first thing is, though, we want to make sure that the grill is hot enough. Okay?
Yeah. I don't see a thermometer or anything on here.
Okay, you should be able to put your hand over it and go 1, 2, and take it off. If you get it over and you can still count to 5 or 3, it's not hot enough. So it's got to be
2, 3, 4. Of course, I don't have any feeling.
Are you okay there?
But yeah, when the hair starts to singe off your knuckles, you know you're okay. Yeah.
And we're starting with the salmon today. We're going to do some other items as well, but we're starting with the salmon because the grill is clean right now. We have it oiled down, and that's where we're going to start with. And my boys love teriyaki salmon, and so that's what we're going to do. Teriyaki, when I used to make this for them, and still do to this day, but when they were little, they used to double fist it, putting it into their mouth, and it just used to make me laugh. But let's see if we can pull a piece out here and get it on.
Okay, yes, that's going to be exciting. So what did you do to prepare the salmon ahead of time?
Now, the nice thing is I'm easy, and this is an easy recipe. They sell a Lowry's marinade. Okay, and that's just a liquid teriyaki marinade. They're always on sale at Macey's. You can always find them there, and they're usually about $1.50. And so this makes it a real simple way to do a marinade.
Yes, you took the lid off, and I could smell the teriyaki there already.
So we're going to go ahead, and we're going to put it face down to start with.
It makes the salmon look more brown than in the package. So.
Oh, yeah.
And how long did you put it in the...
Oh, only 30 minutes usually.
Oh, so it marinates fast.
Yeah, it does. It really does. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and you're pretty well good to go. Salmon's really good at soaking in the flavors.
Man, smells good.
Smell good already?
So you do it the skin up?
The skin up to start with. Okay. Now, on most salmon, when you bake it, there's a common rule. It's usually 20 minutes per inch.
Oh.
So, now... I had a great company that works with us at Macey's that delivers our fish. They're Pacific Seafood. They had this flown in, brought down to me last night. So this is a very nice cut of salmon.
Yeah, those are big. Now, does Macey's normally carry this cut?
Yeah, we do. We do all the time. In fact, we put it on sale quite often this time of year too because they're harvesting it, and so we get it. You'll see it periodically on. It's been on for the last couple months already. So for sale.
Okay, so you take a ruler and you measure and you say, okay, it's 2 inches thick.
Yeah, or you can just do it by sight. This one's about 1.25 inches at the best, through the thickest part. Then you have the thinner, the tail end. Now, a lot of people don't like this front half. The reason being is there's less of a pin bone that runs through the tail. And so a lot of people who do like the tail, there's that reason. There's less bone in it.
Okay. So this is actually one side of the fish. This is the front end. The head would be here, and this was okay. Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's great.
So we're going.
So what? 10 minutes, you say?
Well, yeah, we're going to give it about 10 minutes, 15 minutes here on this one side, and then we'll flip it over and finish it off.
Okay. Now, I noted before you started, you sprayed the grill with some
Grilling pin. You know, it's really nice. It's easy. You know, it's not the best to do it while it's burning. I need to, though. And so you just put a little bit on the top here, and hopefully it doesn't flame up too much. But
so you want to keep the grill coated with that.
You do.
Okay.
You do. And that's only for really the fish. Other items like steak and that, you don't have to worry that much about it. As long as you clean your grill well and have it, you know, oiled down a little bit, you're probably good to go.
That's great. Okay. Boy, that sure is smelling good. Crews all got their noses.
Yeah, these guys they're ready for salmon. You know, it is earlier in the morning, so they're going to have salmon for breakfast today. So that'll be fun.
That's cool.
We have a few other items, too, that we'll show later. Okay. We have some lobster tails.
Ooh.
We have some ribeyes. Now, those of you out there that know what a ribeye is, you really can't ruin a ribeye. I mean, you really can't. But we'll cook one of those up today. We have some special seasonings that I like to use on top of the ribeye as well.
Good. So, secret recipes for us.
Yeah, some fun stuff.
That's great.
So
well, while we're waiting for that going there, so you're the meat manager.
Yes.
And how long you been working with Macey's?
I've been with Macey's 19 years. So,
wow.
You know,
you're only like 26 years old or something.
Well, that's how I feel some days. No, but I've been fortunate enough. They've been a great company to work with, and the heritage behind it, the family that's there is, you know, I knew the Macey family for a long time, and just great people, and it's a great organization.
Oh, that's great. And so you decided young you were going to be a butcher?
No, I actually kind of fell into it.
That doesn't sound good.
Well, I know that sounds awkward, but, you know, I was working in the grocery store at one time, and, you know, as all of us do, I was frustrated because I wanted to make more money, of course, and so I walked by the meat manager at the time, and he goes, well, you want to make more money? Come back here and cut meat. Done deal. And my grandfather cut meat, so I figured if my grandfather could do it, then I could do it.
So it was in your DNA anyway.
I think a little bit,
blood,
yeah.
What do they call it? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that's really great. So you learned at Macey's how to be a butcher.
I did. I was very fortunate. The shop that I started off with, and I should say, there was 3 meat cutters, and there was a combined period of time they had over 150 years experience between the 3 guys.
Wow.
And so they taught me and a few other guys that I worked with for years, and a lot of them became meat managers as well. And so they taught us not just there, but we'd go up to the one of the gentleman's cabin, and he taught us how to cut up the deer and the elk and everything, because, you know, anymore a lot of the beef is boxed beef and not hanging weight, and so it's a little different.
Okay. Well, I like that.
I think we're good to flip.
Good.
Let's try this.
It looks good.
And see what we do here.
See what it looks like. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the pink is really showing through now, plus you have the black lines.
Hot. Now we've got the grill.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this one, you can see that it's almost done there, okay? You've got that. But see, there's just a little bit that's stuck. But you've got that nice sear, those lines that are awesome right across the top. And that's what you want to do. And then you can finish it off this way. This is how I do it. Now I can just go ahead and finish it and burn the skin. Because the skin, it doesn't matter. You're not going to eat the skin.
Oh, take the skin off anyway?
We're going to take it off one way or another, and we're going to let it finish on this side. So it'll take another about 15 minutes on this side, and it'll be done.
Oh, that's amazing, yeah. So I take it you like salmon?
I do love salmon.
You like to fish?
I do like to fish. I do. I've been up salmon fishing a few times. So.
Like in Alaska?
British Columbia and Alaska.
Wow.
So it is a neat environment up there. It's just absolutely beautiful, and being able to have one of these guys at the end of your pole, anyone out there can vouch for that. That is just a fun experience, really fun.
Well, they're like what, 50 pounds when you catch a salmon?
Those are big ones. Any more right in the 30-pound range. Okay. So yeah, some of those get really big.
Well, you can't go to Alaska all the time, so do you fish around?
Oh, I do. I even fish right back here at the reservoir.
Right in the reservoir.
I live a few minutes away. Now my boys are getting old enough, though, and they come up here. Even my oldest by himself and knows how to rig up his own pole, and he'll come home with fish with his friends, and they gut them and eat them, and they have a good time with it. So
that's really great. It's like I say, people who work are people who forgot how to fish. That's my motto in life. I go fishing all the time. I love it.
It's fun. It really is fun.
I hear there's actually like 5-pound fish in this reservoir, this tiny little thing.
Yeah, they've planted some big ones in here. They, I think the range that they planted were on the big ones were, they said were 3 to 5 pounds is what they were. But now they do have limits up here now, which is good. You know, years ago when there wasn't limits, you know, watch people come walking out of here with, you know, 20 fish on a stringer. You know, you're like, wow. But now, you know, they have the limits, but it still makes it so it's fun for everybody that comes up and visits.
So if I catch a trout out of this reservoir, would I cook it just like the salmon?
You can, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've done them whole. You can fillet them. You can do anything you want with it. The whole ones, you know, I like to do those periodically because my boys actually fight over the cheek meat. I know that sounds weird. That sounds weird, but they do like the cheek meat. Okay. And so I try to teach them, you know, that what we catch and hunt and do anything we actually do eat and take care of. And so...
And you say some people like the front end of the fish and some people like the back end. Why was that?
There's usually a bone that runs right down here, just a little pin bone. On the tail end, though, that bone is not there. It only runs through the first, really, half of the fillet.
Okay, so that's bones. Of course, this doesn't have bone in it, right?
There might be a little bit through here.
Not like eating a carp.
No, we're not eating a carp. No, no.
Boy, that sure looks and smells good.
Yeah, it's going to be wonderful.
And hot, too.
It's smoky a little bit. Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll get that knocked down here.
So do you ever put, like, charcoal or hardwoods? Or?
I have. I've done ribs for years. I used to, when I was running the meat department in the Orem Macey's, I used to go through 300 racks of baby back ribs in about 2.5 hours, and that was for the Super Bowl. And so I would sell them out in front of the store, and you know, but I would always bake the ribs with a rub on them, and then put them in tin foil or a cooler where you can seal it off, and it allows it to get moist. Kind of, you just let it sit there and tenderize, and then you take it back out, you throw it on the grill with smoking chips and everything, and you put your sauce on and let it glaze over it, and it's absolutely wonderful.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So you're the one that cooks that every year, so that's
I did.
I get you to thank for that.
I quit doing that now.
Oh, okay.
I got out of that. Yeah. Standing in front of a grill all day, can you imagine now? This one's...
Yeah, this is very hot.
It gets to you. Yeah.
But you say we cook it a lot hotter because we want to sear the outside.
Yes, exactly. Well, the other thing, though, too, Macey's has since then purchased a smoker where they travel from store to store. So they smoke the ribs now and sell those out front. And so it's nice to have that.
Oh, this is wonderful. Okay. What do you normally eat with your salmon? I want to get
salmon, I'm a little bit particular, okay? I love to eat, okay, the basic meal for me with salmon is nice asparagus with a hollandaise sauce. And, you know, I've even grilled the asparagus. You wrap it in bacon and grill it. And whenever I take that up to my dad's, he just always tells me I didn't bring enough. Doesn't matter how much I bring, but I did not bring enough. And when you do that, you buy the cheapest bacon to you possible, just the thin stuff, because you want it to cook and cook the asparagus quickly. And then with that too, I usually do like potatoes. So
baked potato?
I like the little baby reds.
And you cook them on the grill?
I have, yeah. And in fact, I have
in tin foil.
I do tin foil, but I also have a Dutch oven that's a flat bottom, and I like to use that.
Yeah,
so
I love that. Yeah, Dutch oven is great. Cool.
So we're starting to get close here.
Oh, good.
You guys can see if you come down like this, when you can start peeling that back like that.
Right.
That is a pretty done deal. We'll give it a few more minutes. This thicker side, though, of course, is going to take a little longer, and we'll let it go.
So fish usually cooks faster than like beef and other things like that.
It does in a lot of cases. When you get a nice, really thick fillet like this, it does take a little bit longer, and so. But yeah, I like to make sure it's done. Salmon, you know, you still can eat it a little bit on the pink side, but a lot of people don't like it that way.
So it'd be safe to eat this raw?
Not raw, not completely raw. So it's not sushi grade.
Yeah, I was going to say salmon is not a sushi type thing.
It is, but you have to have the sushi grade, and that's a special type. And it actually, I don't even carry that. To get sushi grade, that is very expensive to come into. Sushi grade salmon is, last time I checked for somebody, was at $29 a pound. And so, you know, and it's a little bit on the pricey side.
That's right. Now, you say you do asparagus on the grill. And so what, you just lay them across there like hot dogs?
I literally do, yep. And I put toothpicks in them to hold the bacon on,
okay.
you know, you have to do that. And then, you know, if you can find the thicker asparagus, I know a lot of people like the thin, you know, because it's a little more tender, but the thicker is better with the bacon. So that way you have something to wrap it around.
That's a good thing to know. So can you cook any vegetable?
Oh yeah, pretty much. I've cooked about everything on here. Corn and that.
Corn?
Oh yeah, corn on the cob.
Oh, on the cob. Okay.
On the cob, on the cob,
yeah.
on the cob. Yeah, and there's, you know, this time of year, you know, everyone has zucchini, or at least a neighbor does.
Zucchini.
And, you know, grilled zucchini is phenomenal. It's the only way my boys will eat it, period. So they don't like any other way, but mushrooms and peppers, and we'll throw some of those on. I brought a few of those today. We'll throw some mushrooms and peppers on.
Yeah, that makes sense, because usually you skewer those in a kebab, huh? Yeah, that's
very
right.
true. And now there is a one misconception though that a lot of people do, and they always put the vegetables in with the meat. Now those vegetables cook at a very short amount of time compared to the meat usually. A lot of times if you have large chunks of meat, you know, and I hate to say it, but my kebabs in my butcher block are built wrong as far as I'm concerned. But when
disclaimer on
but when you put the vegetables on separately, you can grill those till they're done perfectly, and then you can grill the meat till it's done perfectly.
Okay, so you should skewer your vegetables and cook them, and then skewer your meat.
Yeah,
and then throw them on the plate. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I like that. Man, this is just bubbling and
it's
so
getting nice.
So
I think
good.
we're pretty much there on this. Now we're just going to take it right off and throw it in the pan.
Okay.
And you see how the skin just came right off?
I see what you mean. Yes.
Now, if I can grab that.
Yeah, but it wasn't so hot, I would have reached for that myself.
But now you can just see how that is there.
So, does anybody eat that?
I actually have a gal that worked with me in Provo for a long time, and she absolutely loves it that way. And you can if you want. I'm not particularly fond of it, but you know, it just gives us a nice base to be able to pull the salmon off.
Oh wow!
So go ahead and
hey, here we go. Okay.
Tell me what you think now.
Oh my goodness! That is just perfect.
Right?
Yes.
All right.
Wow.
Good enough.
Okay. Sorry, there's no more left, everybody. Oh man, I feel like a shark.
So that
great
that
meal.
Salmon, then we will.
And it's so juicy. That is really juicy.
It's awesome. It really is.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
So do we? All right.
You want to turn that one? Oh, you actually stick it in between the skin.
I stuck it in between the skin and took it off. Yep.
Okay. I thought it kind of stuck to the grill, but.
Yeah, that way I can just take it, and this one may fall apart on me because I got a long ways to go.
Yeah. Oh man. Little taste buds.
Yeah. And we'll just take this right off. So the grill is nice and good. Just a nice little ball. And we're good to go.
Hey, you're good with that spatula.
I've used it a few times.
I think so.
So
now you were saying that your grandfather was a butcher?
He was. Okay. Yeah, he used to go into his father owned a grocery store downtown Salt Lake for a lot of years, and he ended up deciding he cut meat there, and then he decided to go into his own business, and with that he would go around selling to grocery stores, and with that he'd go in and cut the meat for them so that they could have a full meat counter, and then the store owners would purchase whatever he was selling at that time. So
a traveling butcher.
Yeah, he was. He really was.
Well, that was great. Well, this is delicious. So you can get your salmon at Macey's, fire up the grill and cook it just like that. Yep. It is superb.
Come on down and talk to me. I'm there all the time. So
good.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to grill, not barbecue, grill another favorite. So join us in a few minutes. And welcome back to Macey's Cooking Corner. My name is Richard Dogan, and I'm here with our guest, the meat manager of Macey's and Spanish Fork, Ryan Rasmussen.
Thank you,
Thanks
Richard.
for being here with us. So that fish was like delicious. I was choking myself on it, just gobbling it down. But I see you have something else really good here. What you got?
We're going to try out a few little lobster tails. Now, you guys, anyone who ever wants a lobster tail at Macey's, we can split them for you like this if you want. Mm-hmm. And that's how I like to actually grill them. So we're going to go ahead and just throw them right on to start with.
Okay, and you didn't spray any Pam or anything?
There's still a little bit on there from the salmon and that. We should be good. I brought enough lobster, though. If a couple stick, we should be fine.
Wow.
We brought just a few today, you know.
Now, did you do anything to prepare these ahead of time?
Just splitting them all in half. That was it.
No
nothing else special.
Spices?
Nope. You can use garlic and butter on them. The reason I like to split them in half, too, is because then you can, when you flip them over, then you can put the butter and sauce inside.
Oh.
You know, and so that should be good. We're also going to throw on some vegetables now, too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. So
we're going to, just for safety, we'll change that out. We're going to go ahead and, I just cut them in big chunks. That's how I like to grill mine.
That makes sense.
You know, my wife likes to try to hide these things from me. I like to be able to know where they are. So
you got all the colors, red, orange, green.
I got some green.
So I just learned a couple months ago the difference between a male green pepper and a female green pepper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was amazing to me. So, did you know the difference?
I did not know.
Of course, it's not a butcher thing, so you wouldn't have thought that. Yeah, so if you have your pepper and you look at the little bumps on the bottom, little feet, if it's a male, it only has 3 of those bumps, and if it's a female, it has 4 little legs. And the female ones are sweeter tasting.
I did not know that.
So when you're picking those out, get the ones with 4. You're getting the best.
So I think we're good. That should be good there.
Oh, okay, and mushrooms. What kind of mushrooms are these?
Oh, those are just the regular white mushrooms. You can use any mushroom you want. Sometimes people like to try the shiitakes or the portobellos or the, you know, but when I use portobellos, those are usually the main course. You know, they're more like a steak. And so,
that's right.
You know, they're wonderful. We'll take a look and just see if we can see if it's, we're going to need to bump the heat up just a little bit here, I think.
Okay, so you do your little handover.
Yeah, I cooled down during the break just a little too much. So, that's okay.
Okay. Excuse me just a minute, guys. Doesn't make things too appetizing this way, does it? Okay, let's try to get back where we were.
We're good.
Ready?
You're good.
Okay, camera 2. Go ahead.
Okay. So you cut these in half, and so they're like quarters, and easier to grill that way?
Yep.
Is that like little feet? I don't know if
These are the tails, and these are the little feet, yes.
it is little feet under there.
And so
Okay.
when you start turning it over, it's just starting to show a little bit of the sear mark here,
Oh, okay.
and then that's what we want to get all the way across when we turn it over to finish. And you can see how the tips are starting to turn a little bit pink. That's the sign. It's just like shrimp. Lobster turns pink, you know, or an orangey color, and so it's when it's finished, and that's what you're looking for, you know.
Okay.
And then you let it sit for just a little bit longer when it's all the way done, because that way you just make sure the center's done. But let's see, we're getting there a little bit more.
Yeah, so it turns nice and white, so it's kind of opaque.
Yeah.
Or not opaque, but translucent. And then as it cooks, it turns white and you can't see through it. Okay.
And lobster is just awesome. I mean,
Yes.
my boys, they love it too. My boys are spoiled as far as meat goes. I mean, my oldest, every January with his birthday, you know, we let him pick out their birthday dinner, of course, and he always wants king crab, lobster, and shrimp. And so I have taught them wrong. But it is fun.
This is great. Now, have you ever cooked, what's the smaller freshwater?
The shrimp or the prawns?
They look like lobsters, but they're
crawdads?
Crawdads, yes.
Yes, I have cooked those.
Okay.
So, but those you have to really, you got to purge them and put them in the, you purge them by actually letting them be alive in some fresh water for a little bit. That helps clean them out. And then usually you just boil them in some crab boil. And that's the only way I've ever done those. I've never grilled them. So I've used Dutch ovens, and I have, Camp Chef that we have a big pot for boiling, and we do that. But you can see the peppers are starting to get a little bit of char on them. That's a good sign.
That's the sign, huh? Mm-hmm. Because you can't like squish on them or anything to tell they're done,
No.
like you do with a steak or something.
Yep.
Okay.
This one here is looking good. So we're going to flip it.
That didn't take long at all.
Nope. And that's the nice thing about this. You get it going, and it is quick. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to overcook it, but you can see also how some of them kind of curl up a little bit as they get more done. If you ever want to keep your lobster straight, and you just run a skewer through it. And it'll keep it straight. And that's one of the easiest ways. Even if you're doing a full tail, you can do it that way. If you're grilling it or boiling it or anything, if you put that skewer through it, it'll help shape it right.
Yeah. So have you ever cooked the lobster?
The claws? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We get those in once in a while. Same thing. Okay. The claws are a little bit different, though. They don't sell a whole lot of those because they usually use those as they actually sell lobster claw meat in little tubs. And so.
Oh, okay. Good. What about the body of the lobster? Is that edible?
There's some stuff in there that's edible. Mostly you find that, Anthony Bourdain or Andrew Zimmer maybe eating that, But
a little bit of this.
I do like that, though. I have tried the roe inside that they call it, and it's actually quite good.
Uh-huh.
And so now you can see those are all blackening up nice. And
yes. What temperature would you say that is? Is that 400 or?
That question, I can't. It's hot enough
ready
to cook on. That's all I can tell you right now. But you can see here too, as you look closer, see it kind of bubbling in its own shell.
Yes, I do. Yes.
And that is just the sign that you want to see, and that's when it's getting cooked right. Yeah.
Okay. Now you haven't turned the mushrooms over.
No, not yet. They're still going to take a little bit of time, but we'll get those going here. And get that fired up on that side too a little bit more.
So asparagus and all. So I was thinking during the last break that maybe okra would taste better grilled.
Okra. Do you like okra?
No, I don't.
Okay,
no, my wife loves it.
She does. Okay, is she from the South?
No.
Really?
No.
Interesting.
No, she's interesting though. Her name's Juanita.
Uh-huh.
But she's not Latino or Mexican.
Interesting.
Her parents just like the name.
I tell you what, I was in the South for a period of time, and they love okra everywhere down there, and it's not bad. But it's also not my favorite either. I don't know if it'd be good grilled or not. I've never tried it.
Well, I know if it's grilled, it's not going to be slimy or whatever.
Yeah.
So
these ones here are just about done, ready to take off. You can see how it's kind of boiled up, and the whole shell is nice.
Yeah, and it's
orangey pink.
Color, yeah.
I'm just going to start setting them aside here.
And this is a good idea with this metal pan here to put things in.
Yeah, I like doing that. If you have the room on your grill, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah,
you can just set things aside and keep it warm, and then we'll have. At this point in time, you can put the butter on or any other seasoning that you want at this time.
Okay. Is there any seasonings you recommend?
I like just on these just a plain butter, garlic.
Okay.
And that's usually it.
Keep the lobster taste.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of times you can over-season meat and just ruin the flavor of the meat, and that's maybe just me, but, Grandpa always taught, you put just salt and pepper on it. Well, I've stretched a little bit beyond that, but, it's still good.
Well, I grew up, I like a little steak with my 57 sauces, the way I eat it,
Well,
pour a bottle on.
Well, Grandpa the only steak we had with Grandpa growing up was a ribeye. It didn't matter what. It was ribeye at Grandpa. And we as kids, we put ketchup on it. So, Grandma had a little saucer that would pour the ketchup out. She'd take it out of the Heinz bottle so we could have it. So still to this day they laugh about it, that all of us kids had to have our ketchup on our steaks.
Yeah, ketchup. Oh, wow.
Well,
this does look great.
We're just about there, I think, and then
and that was fast.
We'll come back and do this. When we're done with this, and here in a minute, we'll do the steaks.
Okay. Yeah, I want to learn what tricks you have for that.
So getting these guys done out.
Okay. Now, I imagine vegetables you really don't have to cook thoroughly.
No.
Like meats, where you want to make sure there's no bacteria cooking in there. So you're pretty safe with that. But as long as you make it look a little blackened, and hey, looks
Usually
pretty
that's
great.
enough, you know. I mean, a lot of people, you know, like to still have the char on it, you know, and everything like that. I'm not a huge vegetable person, though. I have to be honest.
Oh, really?
I'm trying to get to eat more. My health coach keeps telling me I need to eat more. So
Does she bop you in the head and say you should have a B8?
pretty much, yeah.
That's cool. I also understand that the redder the vegetables are, the more vitamin C they have in them.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Okay.
So,
Well, it may be a lie that I'm telling, but that's what I understand. This is really great. Yeah,
All
so
right.
you're not using a lot of sauces or any.
oh no.
I mean, I
These are
didn't
going to
see
be
you put
wonderful.
salt, pepper on, right?
Oh yeah, these are going to be really nice. So you can see they're just kind of cooking in their own shell a little bit. That gives us the nice flavor, the lobster, the natural. Just going to be awesome.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. Well, all we just
right.
got to do is serve it up now, huh?
Oh yeah, we've got a few volunteers over here, don't we?
Let me see if one of these is cool enough down here for me. Pull a little piece off. Good, good, good. Okay, so it is, the outside is like a little stiff, but the inside's completely moist.
Tender.
Yeah, so that's things I've learned is you do it hot so that it sears everything in and then cook it.
Yep.
And then, boy, you don't. 'Cause sometimes I do my steaks, you know, medium or well done, and then it's just tough all the way through, and that's no good.
Yeah, I used to laugh because my mom actually, I always tell her that she killed the cow twice, and you know it's already dead. Don't you know? And you know, she, still to this day she struggles with that. That's and anytime we go up there, but you know. She's had to learn too. She's gone to a lot of the fine restaurants, and I remember as a kid her turning it back in the steak. Please cook this some more. Please cook this some more, and they never would do it. And there's a reason. It's not as good as steak,
Aha.
and that they wouldn't ruin their own cut of meat, even if the customer wanted it. So
Now, I know some people like their meat cooked all the way through because they think, oh, it's safer, killing all the bacteria. But that bacteria is actually just on the outer layers anyway.
it is, and
Right.
the way the health regulations and the USDA and everything that now they have so many checks and balances throughout the whole system right now that everything is really safe. In fact, pork nowadays you can eat pork at a medium rare temperature.
Wow, really?
You know, and so it's, you know, there we go. That's it on this.
Well, that's beautiful. That is just a meal right there.
Oh yeah.
Too bad there's not any for the rest of you guys here. Chow down this on the next break.
All right.
Okay.
You guys see all that there? Then we'll get that in. Now that's a beautiful, fun little thing. Then you can just take that in, serve it to the whole crowd, and let them take it,
Yeah.
you know, buffet style.
Well, I think I can make this for my wife for a special dinner now.
That'd be awesome.
Because I used to think, oh, I'll probably burn it or overcook it or something, but I've got it
awesome.
now. It's perfect.
All right.
Well, let's take another little break, and when we come back, we'll do one more little tip here from Macey's Cooking Corner. Welcome back to Macey's Cooking Corner. My name is Richard Dogan, your host today, and I'm here with Ryan Rasmussen, who is the meat manager. I almost said manager meat, but yeah,
okay.
the meat manager,
manager,
at
yep.
Macey's in Spanish Fork. And he's been teaching us the secrets of grilling this summer. And now we're getting to the part where when I think of grilling in the summer, that's what I think of. Hot dogs, hamburgers, and steak. And,
Yep.
You know, that's the major thing. So we've done lobster tails, we've done vegetables, we've done salmon, and we talked about trout. And so that's good for me.
Well, and today I've decided to bring in some ribeyes, okay? And you can't ruin a ribeye usually, is how they say it. But I put a seasoning on it today that I like. And I usually don't season a ribeye that often, but if you're going to, we sell what's called Spadel seasoning, and it's a beef marinade. It's a moist rub, and this is what I've put on them today. And so
Okay.
let me just let you see them. And so it just kind of soaks right in there.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and throw them right on here.
Now I get the impression that ribeye is your favorite meat.
It is. Growing up, this is the cut of meat Grandpa always had for us. And whenever, if I was the oldest grandchild, so I got a little spoiled, and whenever we went out to eat with Grandpa, he made sure I got a ribeye. And so, yes, this is my favorite steak.
Okay. Which other cuts are good for grilling?
Flat iron's absolutely wonderful.
A flat iron, isn't that kind of hard to chew?
No, but it's actually second most tender next to the filet mignon, and it's absolutely wonderful. And we sell those every day, and but it's called a flat iron. I know it's a weird name.
Yeah.
It's starting to catch on though. People are advertising them. You see them in restaurants now. It used to be the cut of meat that we hid, because we didn't want everybody out there to have it. Us meat cutters would kind of hide that in the back for us because we could get it cheaper.
I always wondered if you guys kept the best stuff.
Well, we
back.
did. We had a few little secrets.
I don't blame you.
But it was always fun. And there's tri-tip, which is becoming more and more popular. I mean, it was a huge cut out in California, and now it's kind of trickling in here. In fact, we've been in the last year probably had it on ad more than in the last 10 years, and so it's been kind of crazy. But there's always a New York. There's the filet mignon.
Okay.
There's always the basics, and ribeye's in that class too. There's top sirloin, petite sirloin,
Getting hot.
Yeah, we're going to turn it down just a hair.
Okay.
Here.
So we do the same thing. You're going to sear these basically?
Yep.
Okay.
We're going to sear them for a few minutes here on each side, and then we'll turn them over and make sure we're done. And the internal temperature, if you want a nice medium rare steak, should be 140 degrees, 145 degrees. If you want it more well done, you cook it to 155, 160 degrees is well done. And so that's on the beef.
Really?
So if you have a meat thermometer, you can do that all the time. You can make sure it comes out perfect for you.
Well,
if you don't use a meat thermometer and you just get used to it, you can just tell by, checking the steak just by pressing on it, and doing that. As it gets more and more well done, the firmer the cut becomes.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
yeah, I always cut them open to see if I'm getting up to the medium rare or whatever, but
so those are starting to look
press on it. Okay.
nice.
Yep, that sure does.
Nice sear marks there.
So when I was a little boy back in the olden days, when everybody was poor, at least in my neighborhood, my parents always bought the cheapest thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I can't remember what it's called, but they would tell me, it's a little tough, but it's better tasting than the tender, expensive stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a story, I imagine.
Well, there's some things that are out there that are different, but you do pay for what you get. In a lot of ways. If you pay that little bit higher price, you're going to get a little bit better quality cut.
Okay.
But a lot of it still is supply and demand. You have a lot of that. These cuts are used, all over the place in restaurants, and so the higher end cuts, there's more of a demand on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So.
Yeah. So when you in your butcher department, you keep track of how many of each different things you sell, and then whatever you sell more of, you get more of.
Yeah.
And things that not many people come to buy, then you just quick.
Yeah. There's even some items that I've taken out of the set that we don't even sell anymore. You probably recall the whole cut round steak. The whole, it was probably about that big.
Oh, and with the round bone in the middle. Yeah.
And that's pretty much obsolete now. Not a lot of people would even buy it when we put it on ad, so now we don't even carry it anymore. So some cuts have gone, a little bit away, but we try to keep most of them.
Well, porterhouse is like that too. I used to get porterhouse all the time. Now you have to really ask for it a couple days ahead.
Well, and I did get T-bones. They had taken them out of the set down here, and I just took this shop over only 3 weeks ago now. And because I came from Provo, and the meat manager down here retired, and so I took it over, and they actually had eliminated T-bones out of there. They are back in though now.
Okay, good.
So.
Yeah, because the porterhouse is a T-bone, but a little extra.
Yeah, the 2 inches of the filet mignon on it, and there's only usually about 3 porterhouses on every full loin.
Oh.
And so that's why they don't advertise it too much, because you got to cut that whole loin up, and you don't want to waste it. And so that's the hard part.
Well, it worked well for me and my wife because we'd cook that up and then she'd eat the filet mignon and I'd get the rest.
And the other side's the New York, which is a great cut.
Oh, that's right.
So we're going to turn these again here.
Okay. So do you turn them often, or?
I turn them not that often, but a few times.
Okay.
Just to make sure we're there.
Okay. And so we can see the bubbles coming up here.
And as we push, see how it's starting to get a little firmer?
Ah, yes.
And we're just about there as far as a medium rare goes. And so we'll give it a few more minutes and pull them off and cut them up and let you take a look at it. Okay. And this stuff is awesome. Ribeyes, you never can go wrong. In fact, that's what they make the Philly cheesesteaks out of out in Philadelphia.
Really?
Is the ribeye cut. And so they cut it really thin, and then, yeah. In fact, when I make it for my boys, I do the cheese whiz, and they love it. Absolutely love it. So it makes it fun.
Great sandwich. Yeah. In fact, I even got learning to like sauerkraut.
Oh.
Because I usually buy it from the store, and it's real vinegary tasting, and so I can only eat a little bit of it, you know.
Yeah.
And when I learned how to make it myself, it's sweet and it's.
See, I like that, but only on
my
brats.
Philly cheesesteaks.
Oh, on the cheesesteaks, really? I haven't had it that way, but I like it on my brats.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah.
But I'm kind of strange about my brats. I only like the colossimals. They're my favorite because they have, you know, they're actually made in Salt Lake, and so it's a local company. It's kind of nice. And so I try to support them.
Good. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll do that too.
So yeah, flip one more time, and then we're gonna take them off. Okay. We're just about there.
Now this is interesting. So this one, like the lines are across there like that, and now we've got a crisscross. Okay. You do that on purpose?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Just like when I mow the lawn. And,
yeah, I did. It kind of makes it a little fancy, huh? So we're going to go ahead and cut the heat off on these ones. And then what we'll do is we're going to go like that.
So I just recently learned from my little experiments, studying this out, that when you cook a steak, you should cook it to where you want it. But then you should let it sit for 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It's true, huh?
It is true. Very true.
Okay.
So you want it to cook, and then you want it to sit 5 to 10 minutes at least. Reason being, do you know why?
No, but they get cold.
It can get cold, but the biggest reason is that it redistributes the juices within the meat.
Oh, really?
Okay, when it's cooking here, the juices are bouncing and the molecules are moving around. When you actually let it rest, then it goes back and distributes all that moisture all the way through. Yeah.
Wow, okay. Well, I guess that's a good tip then. I just thought it was kind of weird, you know, letting it cool down before you eat it.
Yeah, I know.
That's the reason.
I know. Could you hand me that knife there? And then what we're going to do is we'll put
I wonder if I know how to hand a knife properly.
That's good enough for me today.
Okay. Old Boy Scout days, you know, you say thank you before you let go.
Yeah, I know. I'm within the Scouts with my
Give me that.
And they're always, my oldest still to this, you know, he's 13, so he's always, when I hand me that knife, and, you know, sit and hold on to it until I say thank you.
Yeah,
so he's learned. He's learned
That's great.
teaching his dad the right way.
Wow.
So these are going to be medium rare to rare, which is going to be.
How many ounces are these?
Oh, these are about 3/4 of a pound, half pound to 3/4 of a pound each.
12 ounces.
So they're nice.
Good size. And so you like potatoes and asparagus with these also?
Yeah, I like asparagus with everything.
Just asparagus.
You know, because that was always a treat growing up. We used to go pick it at the ditch. And
I was going to say, in the old days, it used to grow wild around here.
Yeah.
And people just go out and get it. And now you can't find it anywhere.
But, you know, I've got a brother who's got me hooked, too, on Brussels sprouts grilled. Those are phenomenal. You know, charred up. They're kind of nice. You just cut them in halves and then put it on. If you have one of the baskets to hold it in, the grill baskets, those are really nice to use. So, really kind of fun. So
well, I'm going to try okra on this, that's for sure.
Let's move. Let's see here. Can you hand me the white cut board, Richard, if you don't mind? We're just going to put that right on top there.
Like that?
Yeah. We'll do that. Then we're going to let these up here.
So we need a good steakhouse here in Spanish Fork.
We do.
You know,
we do. Yeah, there's not a lot around. That's for sure. And then you can see it's got the nice char on it. This one's going to be a little bit more rare. You know, we're going to just cut right into that so you can see how rare. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a nice rare
cut.
And
you cut that at an angle.
I did.
Not just straight.
Yep.
And the reason for that or just for show?
For show today, you know. And so we're going to look at this one here.
So that's a rare one.
Yep. And we should have a nice medium there.
Medium, so that's perfect.
And that's going to be just awesome.
That sure
so we'll let these sit for a minute. And I know.
Now, what was the seasoning you put on again?
The Spade Ale. It's called Spade Ale.
So what does it have in it?
It's got just about everything.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm partial to just garlic seasoning.
Garlic
I get the
season?
California
oh, that's
garlic,
awesome.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't like a lot of salt in it.
Oh, yeah.
Got to cut down on the salt. So it's got other things in it too, but yeah, garlic powder like thing. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
usually let it sit overnight.
Which is awesome. You can do that
Yeah.
with any cut of meat. If you let it sit longer, it'll break down even more so. But the other key too, though, you want to serve before you put it on the grill. Make sure you get it to room temperature if you can. If you,
Oh, really?
Because what that does is it helps cook it evenly. If the center of that meat's still cold, it's going to have a harder time getting cooked. It'll take a little bit longer, I should say. And so
Okay.
it's nice to let it get to room temperature and then cook it. Then you get an even cook on the whole steak.
I found that with eggs too.
Oh, really? I haven't.
If
I
they're
didn't know.
warm, room temperature, they cook more evenly. And
I'm going to have to try that.
in fact, if you don't refrigerate them all, it's better. But of course we're scared, and so we
Oh,
refrigerate
yeah,
everything.
we do. We
But
do.
if you can get them fresh from the hen,
Yeah, that'd be.
and crack it in the pan. Oh, there was a farm down south here just about 10 years ago that was crossing ostriches and turkeys
Oh, really?
and making something.
That's interesting.
And they had eggs that must have been that big, huge things, with several yolks in them.
Yolks in it.
You could tell yolk jokes, yeah. And just one of those, whole omelet.
And you're done.
It was great.
You only need one per family? Is that?
Well, not for me, because I eat a lot. But I wish that place was still in business. It was great.
All right.
Another thing we did was we'd punch a hole in the top and the bottom and blow it all out. And it was speckled like a robin's egg, so it was all like it
Oh,
was already
interesting.
colored for hanging on your Christmas tree.
That's pretty cool.
It was really cool, yeah.
That is.
I guess I should do a craft show along with this, but
Well, I'm jealous. I have to taste it.
yep.
You see, it's awesome.
Well, you're going to say it's great because you
Oh,
made
yeah,
it.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, you better cut some off for me.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? You're right. A little thin slice of that would make a much better sandwich than putting the whole thing on my bun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
You're right. I can taste it all the way through. It's not just on the surface where you put but they've gone down in.
Yeah. Wonderful stuff. That
wonderful.
Spadel seasoning is wonderful.
That is. Well, Mr. Rasmussen, sure appreciate you being here.
Here we go.
White man, yeah, thank you. That's why we wear these things.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming here and joining us.
Thank you very
Macey's
much for
Cooking
having us.
Corner. Yeah, and we'll hope to have you back again.
I'd love to.
Learned
It's
a
been
lot of
fun.
secrets, and I'm going to be a better cook now.
Go show your wife. She'll
Yeah.
love it.
Well, thank you for joining us today. And if you have the opportunity, come to see us at Macey's in Spanish Fork. Thursdays at 7 o'clock, we have our cooking shows, starting back at the end of July now. And if you do miss a show and you want to see it, tune in to Spanish Fork 17. Or you can also get to the YouTube to Spanish Fork 17, and we keep all our cooking shows and the recipes and everything on there for you. So until next time, thank you very much.